Happy Sunday! Look, happy Sunday, everybody. We are back today with another episode of Chit Chat Podcast. Look, I need y'all to check in. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I need y'all to pull up, pour up, speak up. This is today's episode. We're having open chat today. And because we missed last Sunday, because I was headed on vacation, or whatever, we're checking in today. I need you to come and park right real quick and dive into this conversation, open chat session on today. How's everybody doing on this Sunday? Look, vacation is over for me. Y'all see your girl is all bronzed up. Honey, that sun got me good, but I enjoyed every minute of it. It was such a worthy time to go on vacation and have that time to kind of, relax and relate and release, some things before, some busy stuff start coming up. So that's what we're going to chat about today. I got to catch you guys up since we had a week off. I'm ready to catch you guys up on what's happening, what's going on, what you can look forward to for Chit Chat Podcast, all these things. So I need you parking in. And just like the drive-through movie, y'all remember the drive-through movies back in the day, where we would just go park and then you can watch the movie from your car, eat your snacks and all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Pull up, pour up. If you got to get you some coffee, some tea, some wine, whatever the case may be, let's have our open chat discussion today. So that's what we're open to do today. So, and then I want to catch you guys up on some stuff since we didn't have a session or episode last week. So, if you're in and if you're checking out the podcast for the first time, please like and share. We would love to have you part of our podcast family. If you have not already subscribed, please go and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, and also follow us on Instagram and Facebook as well. So we look forward to having you part of the podcast family. Look, Chit Chat Podcast is that type of platform where you don't know what open chat discussions could bring up. Sometimes it's funny stuff. It's everyday life stuff. It's stuff that we're dealing with in current situation and current events. But nevertheless, it's always a platform that's inclusive because we're looking to inspire, motivate, and encourage the everyday woman. And of course, guess what? We have a lot of our men who check in with Chit Chat Podcast too, and that's cool. We welcome that. Matter of fact, it's going to be an opportunity for our men who are listeners of the podcast to join in with us on our last episode of the month with Dr. Juan, our love doctor that comes on, who we affectionately call the love doctor, who comes on once a month with us. He's going to be doing a panel platform for this month, highlighting men's mental health awareness. And we're looking for some men volunteers to come chat with us during this time with Mr. Juan on the importance of men mental health and the things that you can do to kind of elevate, your time in prioritizing your mental health. That's so important. Not just for women, but it's important for you men as well. So you guys are the leaders of our families, leaders of our homes, and we want to make sure that you guys are prioritizing your mental health, because health is wealth. And so we want you to be grounded and strong on a foundational purpose, both mentally, physically, spiritually, and on all those levels. And so definitely, if you're interested in being a volunteer for our men panel at the end of the month with Mr. Juan Lee, then please message us with your information, your contact information, whether it's phone or email. So that way we can be able to contact you with the episode information and updates. So that way you're well aware of what's going on, what you're going to be looking forward to, how your participation is needed, and all of those good things. But y'all, it is another Sunday. I spent a whole week out in the sun fun in the sun time, still celebrating my daughter, our executive producer, her 26th birthday. So we carried that over from the birthday celebration we had here in the DC area. We carried that over on a cruise with some of her friends, and it was phenomenal. So I was so excited to see, my baby just celebrating her life with her friends, who adore her just as much as her family does, and wanted to take that time to travel with her to do so. So thank you to all of those I met on a cruise ship, and my new babies. I'm gonna call them my babies because they was calling me mama. So my new babies. So I'm saying hello to all of you guys because it was a pleasure meeting you guys, and I hope there is an opportunity that you not only I only get to see you again, but you get to be part of our podcast family as well. So, but we have an open chat today. So a lot has been going on. A lot has gone on in a week since we last spoke, in 2 weeks since we last spoke because we was off last week. So I want to catch you guys up on some things. I know that we are in the month of June, and in the month of June, it gives us an opportunity to capture some of the observation and awareness for the month of June. So one of the most important things for the month of June is Men Mental Health Awareness Month. And we are so focused on that because we know that men are leaders of our families. They're leaders of our homes. And we want to make sure that these men are prioritizing their mental health. We're going to have Mr. Juan Lee, a relationship and therapist coach, who's going to be on with them, doing the panel, leading the panel, discussing the importance of mental health and how these things can be utilized for us when we're moving through life, and we're dealing with our families, we're dealing with relationships, we're dealing with things that require us. So I'm looking forward to people trying to volunteer, do the things that you need to do to volunteer, and be a part of that, because it's important. It's important. But that's at the end of the month. We also have Father's Day coming up. So look, we celebrate women big for Mother's Day. We do it big, we do it grand, all that kind of stuff, because our mothers are so important to us. But we don't want to leave out our fathers either. So Father's Day is coming up. So we need you to nominate those deserving fathers who needs to be highlighted for the things they do in and outside their homes, how they're leading their families, how they're taking care of their families, how they're taking care of their loved ones, whether this is a biological father, a stepfather, a father figure, a mentor, whatever the case may be. If you know that there's a deserving man who's been in a position of a father figure, or who's been in a position of being a father to those that he loved and support, please nominate them. We want to highlight those men and give them the recognition and the flowers they deserve during this time. And then one deserving father will get a Father Day basket from Chit Chat Podcast with all kind of Father's Day goodies and things and trinkets that he could use in his everyday life. So please nominate those fathers. We're looking for those nominations. Nominations was supposed to end on Friday. Since we was on the cruise, we're extending the nominations till Wednesday. This Wednesday, deadline, no more time after this Wednesday. So this Wednesday is the deadline. So please send your information and your nominations. You can either message me with the information, or you can send it to chitchatpod@gmail.com. That's our email address. Send the information there. Please provide your contact information and the person contact information, because if they win the Father's Day basket, we need to be able to contact them for that basket to get delivered to them. So let's nominate those fathers big time, because we do it for mothers all the time, celebrating those mothers and all that. And we want to make sure we celebrate those fathers just as big. Jada has put up there the men mental health panel that I mentioned earlier, that we're looking for volunteers for that. The deadline for that is this Friday. So we're looking for men to volunteer for that, to be on the panel at the end of the month with our love doctor, Mr. Juan Lee, that comes on to our podcast platform once a month. He will be sponsoring and also fostering that leadership panel, talking about the importance of men mental health, and give you some information on the things that you can do as a man, and the things that how you can navigate through your mental health, issues and things that you're dealing with for everyday life. So we look forward to that. Your deadline for that is this Friday. Again, for Father's Day nominations, the deadline is Wednesday. Wednesday. Wednesday is the deadline for Father's Day. Do not message us to be like, is it too late to do that? And it's Thursday or Friday. Wednesday is the deadline for Father's Day, and Friday is the deadline that we're looking for volunteers for our men panel. Very important panel. And so, but we definitely want to make sure that we nominate these fathers so that way that we can celebrate them like we celebrate our mothers during Mother's Day time. But those are things that we do. It's not all about us women sometimes, even though this is a women's panel. This is a Chit Chat podcast. Chick, create her inner courage is my platform that I am utilizing for my upcoming pageant. And y'all, look, we're 27 days away from this pageant. 27 days away from this pageant. I'm getting so excited. I don't know what to do. I feel like my face is just stuck with a smile because I feel like I'm ready. I'm already in pageant mode, ready to smile, all that kind of stuff. But I'm excited. And most of that is because of the excitement. I haven't did a pageant since, high school time. And so to be, 30 years later doing a pageant or whatever, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting some of the ladies I've already connected with through the pageant network and have been friends with since, the pageant announcements of all of us in our delegate titles. But I'm definitely excited about it. I'm excited about what and it came at a great time in my life. So I think this time in this season in my life to have this opportunity to represent the Mid-Atlantic region. And if you guys don't know, the Mid-Atlantic region represents the states of New York all the way down to West Virginia. So I got New York, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, DC, West Virginia. So and Pennsylvania as well. So all those consist of the Mid-Atlantic. So that's my delegation representation of the Mid-Atlantic. And so speaking of that, I want to give a big shout out to one of the states in my Mid-Atlantic region, the 2026 NBA champs, the New York Knicks, who won the NBA championship last night. I'm excited. Look, I just did my New York photo shoot before the cruise. And then, just the excitement about, the NBA finals during that time and being in New York. You could just feel the vibe. You can feel the energy, everything. And I had my New York hat on. I had a animal print I had the New York on there. And this guy, the guy at the train station, he was like, "Are you a fan?" He was like, "What you think about the game? You think we can take it?" So they was asking me all these questions or whatever. So I was pretty excited. I was like, I think this is the year that they're going to do it. I'm definitely supporting the Knicks over the Spurs because I felt like the Spurs is a young team, even though they were a great team, great competition. They're a young team. I think they have, more time to come up with the championship in the next few years. But I think it was just New York time. 53-year drought, y'all. It was a 53-year drought since the last NBA championship. So it was time. It was time. Sometimes, our seasons, we go through life and there's seasons where, sometimes it's just our season. It's just our time. And I think it was just New York's season. It was just their time. So big ups to the NBA champs, the New York Knicks. New York is about to go crazy. Not that they went already crazy, but New York in the house. So yeah, I'm going to definitely make a trip back up to New York um, for that. But definitely excited about the New York Knicks and their championship. And because I represent the Mid Atlantic and they're one of my states, I'm super excited for them and their representation, especially after doing this photo shoot that I did this last time. And look, speaking of the photo shoot, so I want to give a big shout out to one of my sponsors for the pageant for my 2026 Elite Miss Mid-Atlantic Petite journey is I want to give a shout out to D Velocity Photography. She a phenomenal photographer out. She's from Jacksonville, but lives in Georgia. And we did a photo shoot in New York. And when I tell you, it did not disappoint. I cannot wait till you guys see the pictures. So I'm super excited about that. So all of those who sponsor part of sponsorship and donations towards this journey to nationals, when we had the calendar donations and all those things that you did for that whole entire month. Those of you who donated and have sown a seed in good ground, because I'm telling you, this is good ground, have sown seed into good ground, you would definitely be getting an autographed photo copy of the Elite Miss Mid-Atlantic Petite 2026 from her photo shoot in New York. So that would be my gift to you guys as appreciation of all the things that you guys have, done in supporting, following, doing all the things that is necessary to give me that extra, push to know that I can do this. I got support behind me. People are cheering me on, all those great things. So I'm super excited about that. So you would definitely be getting that as a gift from me to you as donors on that. So please make sure you know that that is coming to you. But next, I want to other sponsors I have, of course, Press on Us, my best friend's business. She's always very, very supporting anything that I do. If I need her to make something, create something, whether it's for the podcast platform or for the pageant, she's right there ready to make it and create it. And, I give her an idea and she goes with it. And I love that. And she just brings my idea of my thought into fruition. So I want to give a big shout out to my other sponsor, my best friend and her business, Press on Us, LLC. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look, I'm trying not to get emotional about all this stuff because it's like, oh, it's just so much excitement. But so she will be, doing some stuff for me for the pageant that I will be able to model in the pageant, part of my costume wear. So for the costume portion to represent my region. So thank you for that. Other supporters, Tooks Realtor, my friend Tequila, y'all know she's came on here and did co-hosting her and her husband's business. Thank you for your donation. Dr. Dorisha and her realty business. Thank you for your donation. And all of you who chose a calendar date on the calendar month that we did the Road to Nationals for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Without all of that, I cannot be ready and prepared to do what I need to do in these 27 days. So I want to definitely give you my honest appreciation for all of the support for that. But it does not end there because People Choice Awards have been opened for the pageant. Since we're 27 days away, our pageant director has opened up People Choice Awards. And so you can go on and vote for your favorite delegate in each division for People Choice. And the top voter in the People Choice Award automatically makes the finals. And so I need you guys voting. I shared the link for you guys. If you click on the link that Jada has captioned at the top, you'll be able to go straight to the to my link for my page and vote as well. You can vote as many times as you want. The voting is open to the end of the month. I think it's open to the 30th of June, and then it will close out. But go ahead and support. One more time, click on that link and vote. The People Choice Award is important as well because our top voters for that will automatically make the finals. make the final, the top 10 finals. And definitely all proceeds from that People Choice Award will go. We had um, a, a, a pageant delegate who passed away in May. She passed away in May, and her family, so she won't be with us in July competing for the competition. So her family, all the proceeds from that will go to her family setting up a nonprofit in her name and honor. And so so that money is being sown into good ground. So you know, if you spend that dollar, just know that dollar is going into good ground because of our late Olivia contestant who won't be joining us in July. Her family will be able to establish that in her name and honor for her. So definitely hit that, click that link, voting link, and vote. People Choice is open till the 30th of June. So I'm super excited about that. So, and then, top votes go automatically go to the finals. So it makes it easier when somebody, get those votes, and then they can automatically make the top 10 for the finals. So, so it's very important, highly competitive as well. So, if you feel so honored to do so, thank you in advance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But it is open chat session today. I think I got all of the things out that I needed to get out. I'll definitely highlight some more things at the end to kind of recap what we talked about, because we talked about Father's Day or whatever. Father's Day, the men's panel, the countdown, y'all, the countdown, 27 days. So I started this journey last August, September timeframe, in the fall, and it has almost been a whole year, and it doesn't even seem like it because I've been trying to do different things. Went to, do when the monks came and did their travel journey and came into our area, which was part of the Mid-Atlantic, went out for that, some stuff for our commanders, just taking the time to try to visit the different states or do things within those different states to make my presence known as Miss Mid-Atlantic, Elite Miss Mid-Atlantic 2026. So that's important. And so I wanted to make sure that, people got to know the Petite organization, Petite USA organization, and they got to know me as a person. But y'all know me. Those who know me already know me. I'm a people person anyways. And so I meet no strangers. However, but getting to know me, personally, not by what you think or what you heard or whatever, but having a conversation with me and getting to know me outside of the crown, outside of, the stage, the presence of pageantry or whatever, getting to know who this person is, with no lights, camera, action, kind of thing. And so I've always been open to that and been an open book for that. And so those of you who still want to get to know me, hit me up. Y'all know I'm available. The pageant is July 8th through the 11th. 2026 in Chicago, Illinois. Oh my God, y'all. And it's 27 days away. And so every delegate, we almost have a state delegate from every state and the different regions as well. So it's just like the Miss America. Miss America have every delegate represented from each state or whatever. This is how the Petite USA organization is designed as well. And so there's going to be women everywhere. And so I've already, been in contact with some have already been on this platform where you guys were able to meet some earlier this year. And so, just giving people opportunity, know what people platforms are all about, what they're passionate about, what they're pushing in their platform, and what they're trying to represent. And so those of you who don't know, who haven't got the background of Chit Chat Podcast was birthed out of me coming off of a podcast. I was on a high school football podcast, and Chit Chat Podcast kind of got birthed from that idea because after being on that podcast and seeing how passionate, the men and the people were about their football teams, about their different regions that they represented or whatever. And every Friday night that we did those podcasts, highlighting game highlights, players, all these things. I seen the passion of people, showing up and talking about their favorite player and talking about what was their favorite part of the game they watched that night, what was their favorite highlight, and all these things. And us talking about stats on players and players getting recruited and going to, and going different places. That was the excitement. That was the energy. And it was just crazy. And so when I left that area and moved up here to the DC area from Georgia, I knew I wasn't going to be at the football games to be able to help out and share in on the excitement of the games and the players and all that, even though I was still trying to do it from far away, but it wasn't the same. And so I wanted to veer off and create something that gave that same kind of excitement and the same kind of passion. And I thought about, what if women had something that they were so passionate about that provided them a safe space to create, to motivate, to support, to encourage, to inspire. And I came up with Chit Chat Podcast because I said I wanted that to be a place where it's for the everyday woman. Like, no woman is excluded. Whether you a different race, a different, ethnic background, economic background, it does not matter. We are inclusive in this group. And the Chick and Chit Chat Podcast stands for Create Her Inner Courage. This platform wants you to be your best version of yourself. We want you to create what's inside you so that you can go out there and birth and do the things that you need to do, that you have been purposed to do. There's gifts and talents in all of us. And sometimes we don't know how to work those gifts and talents because, they've been so dormant for so long, and we haven't been around people that motivate us or inspire us or encourages us to do that. And that's what this platform is about. And if you followed our platform in the last 2.5, almost 3 years now, you've seen how we have showcased businesses and entrepreneurs and people who are doing things or who have created things or found things within themselves to be creative and using their creative gifts and their talents to, establish businesses or to establish platforms or whatever. We are definitely in support of that because that's important. That's important. And that's why Chit Chat Podcast was created, to give that platform. We want you to be motivated. There's something in each of us. There's enough for all of us to get whatever we need to get. And if we're supporting and inspiring and encouraging and motivating and uplifting each other, there's nothing we cannot do. And especially united, there's nothing we cannot do. I always said there's no hood like the motherhood or the sisterhood. And I stand 10 toes down on that. There is nothing like it. When women come together and they create, or they come together and they unite, they are a force to be reckoned with. And I'm excited that this platform can provide that. This platform can provide the networking that creates those kind of people who are ready to inspire, who are ready to encourage, who's ready to motivate, who's ready to mentor, who's ready to say, hey, this is how I started my business or whatever. Let me give you some pointers of what the things I've learned, the lessons I've learned. There's wisdoms and nuggets and things that we share on this platform that's not just for us. It's not just for us. And we ain't no gatekeepers either. So those people who we see or who we know that are inspiring and encouraging and motivating and all those things, we try to invite them. Come on, come share with us about this book that you wrote, this book that that has inspired you, your life, your lessons that have inspired you to create this book or to create this business or to create this product or something that you're selling. So that's what we're all about. And so that's why I'm so excited, because I've always been, everybody that knows me, I've always been a woman who wanted a strong sisterhood. I grew up with all sisters. So it's not likely that I'm not look, I don't dealt with the attitudes and all that kind of stuff because I grew up with sisters. So, but I tend to, get with women who wants to motivate, who wants to be motivated, who wants to inspire, who wants to encourage, who wants to do these things. And I love that. And I feel like that's the platform that I well represented. Even when I was a football mom, I had a football moms club. And so the football moms, and I would say, hey, we need to get together at least once a month, go have dinner, drinks, or something with no kids where you guys can separate from the kids and the games and all that kind of stuff. And it'd be all about us. We vented at those tables, cried at those tables, whatever we was dealing with and going through, all of us supported each other. And that's exactly how I wanted to establish the platform for Chit Chat Podcast. So that's my platform I'm going with. That's my lane. I know where my lane is. I definitely, ministry has always been in me, as a young adult, but growing season into my spiritual life, ministry has always been in me. So I've always been a mentor, or you've seen people that have came on the podcast that I met along the way, that I've mentored, and we're still connected. We're still friends. I'm still, praying for them and encouraging them and talking to them and checking on them and celebrating them and all these things that they're doing and their children are doing. That's what it's all about. So that's what my platform will be going forward in this pageant. And that's what I will be representing, because I feel like, what other way to represent a pageant full of sisters, sister queens, than a platform like Chit Chat Podcast, where it gives a voice to every woman, what they're passionate about, what they're trying to do, how they're trying to serve, who they're serving, all these things. And I feel like that's what this platform does. So, with your support, look, we're going to nationals in Chicago, representing this platform in a big way. If you've seen the Chit Chat Podcast merch, you already know our sign. You've seen our emblem, the headphones with the red lipstick. Y'all know I love some red lips or pink lip. So, but that is our signature mark, and that's what I will be representing at the Petite USA in July. So thank you. Send positive energy, positive vibes, everything, prayers, all you can towards me in the next 27 days as me and the ladies prepare for this opportunity. And I look forward to meeting the ones that we've met and connected network via social media, but to be actually able to see them in person and love on them and meet them personally, it's going to be such a phenomenal experience. So I'm excited about it. Excited. So, but again, the link is connected in the at the top of our broadcast. If you want to click on it and vote, please do so. We appreciate your support or whatever. And look, 27 days, and that's gonna be it. If you want to come to Chicago, I welcome it. Come and be in the audience, cheering, yelling, whatever, hold a sign up, do whatever you can. I welcome it. Tickets are on sale now. There's information on my page for tickets as well, so you can get your tickets now. You can purchase your tickets now. I think tickets are sold per division. So like you'll get a ticket for evening wear, you'll get a ticket for the costume portion. So it's not like a one ticket. I'm not sure if they got a one ticket for the whole pass, but there's ticket for different events. So if you only interested in evening wear and the sports attire or whatever, then you can buy your tickets according to those. And those who want to watch sociably, via the internet, and you can't make it to Chicago, I will have that information to you closer to Pageant Day. You'll be able to watch on social media, seeing your likes, your vibes, and information as you're watching, sending the comments, all those stuff. We'll be able to do that as well. So I'll have that information closer to Pageant Day for you guys to be able to capture and watch the pageant live. So I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. Before I open it up for open chat, I do want to bring up one more thing. Juneteenth is coming up. Juneteenth is on June 19th. Look, um, I know it's a new celebrated holiday, but it's not new to most of us. Those of you who celebrate Juneteenth, we celebrate Juneteenth because if you know the history, Blacks back in 1776 was not free. And so our freedom became free, in 1865 with the Emancipation Proclamation. And so we celebrate Juneteenth to celebrate our independence that way, because our independence didn't come in 1776 when America was discovered, and people honor Independence Day from that. It came later for us. And so you see a lot of celebration for Juneteenth. A lot of people don't understand it. They were like, why are you not celebrating June 4th, but you celebrate Juneteenth, kind of thing. Understand the history and be passionate behind a lot of that before you guys knock it and questioning it and all those things or whatever, because there's people who are passionate about their independence and their freedom and how it came about. And if you're ignorant to a lot of it and don't know about it, talk less on it and allow those people to celebrate on Juneteenth how they see fit to celebrate Juneteenth, as opposed to July 4th. I celebrate both, but I am more passionate now about Juneteenth and the opportunity that it has given us as a celebrated holiday, and a recognizable holiday as well. So I'm very passionate about us. When I say us, I'm talking about the people of color, understanding their culture and their background, and understand why we do things, and not doing them just because we're doing them or just because it's there, but understanding why we're doing it. So, I like to try to educate, because some people are like, I don't understand, the difference between Juneteenth. Yeah. So our Emancipation Proclamation wasn't signed in 1776. And so because we wasn't free when America was discovered, we have that Juneteenth celebration quite differently than July 4th. Both, some people say, well, hey, I celebrate July 4th and July 4th only, to each their own, but I celebrate both. But I am very passionate about Juneteenth and allow my children to understand the importance of that celebration of independence on Juneteenth as well. And speaking of Juneteenth, past President Obama, new president library will be open on Juneteenth. Its first opening is Juneteenth. And I'm super excited about that, because in Chicago. So when I go to the pageant in Chicago, of course, I'm gonna make some time to see that. I already told my sister we're definitely going to Obama's library to check that out while we're there in Chicago. And so as well as my daughter told me she wants some pizza and some other stuff and all this kind of stuff that she wants to check out in Chicago. But we're definitely going to hit Obama's president library there in Chicago and check it out while we're there. Super excited about that. So, but it's open chat session, guys. So let's chat today. Look, we was gone for a whole week on this cruise, and y'all, when I tell y'all I am so, like, I'm itching now because I got so sunburned, and I knew better. And you see my face looks shiny right now. I just got on lipstick, but I don't have no makeup on, but my face looks shiny because it's burned. It's literally bronze, toasted, burnt right now. And my chest, everything, farmer's tan, all that kind of stuff. And I've been having an itch fest. And I already have sensitive skin anyway, so I knew better. And I sprayed my daughter sunblock stuff on, just didn't spray enough, I guess. And so I'm just so irritated right now. And so I've been trying to do aloe baths to help with that. But yeah, I got that skin that's very delicate. When people be talking about, oh, she just too bougie for me. No, I'm serious, y'all. I just have that skin. I can't wear fake stuff. I can't, stuff irritates my skin easily. So it's just one of those things. And look, hey, I was just born that way. I can't help it. But I make no excuses for it, because I'd be like, I can't just put on anything on my skin. I can't be just anywhere sitting outside or whatever. My skin is too sensitive. But yeah, but it was worth it. It was such a great vacation. It was such a great time to have it, no stress, no, nothing. I wasn't thinking about nothing. And it was a surreal moment because I think that was the first time I realized I'm retired. And I was able to celebrate that moment for myself, to enjoy doing what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, wake up when I wanted to wake up, and just not worry or be, concerned or caring about anything. And so that was important for me. And so, yeah. So I look forward to that. But I'll be relocating at the end of the year, moving down south. So I'm headed to Huntsville, Alabama. So Huntsville, your girl is coming. So we bring a Chit Chat podcast with us, and so Huntsville will get our presence for the remainder of my time, unless the Lord say something different or whatever. Will get the remainder of my time here. As I live out my retirement life. But you will have legacy consulting group that will be started there in Huntsville, and carrying on through the legacy of my children thereafter. So I'm excited. I definitely am excited about being in business for myself, and creating the market for that business with business contracts and all of that. So super excited, super excited. So without further ado, look, let's open the floor up for some open chat. What's on y'all mind? What's on y'all mind? Hi, somebody from Bangladesh. Okay. But hello for checking in. Thank you for checking in with Chit Chat Podcast. But also I wanted to open the floor. What you guys want to chat about today? I know summer is here, so people are probably planning vacations. July 4th is coming up. So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts is happening. I got a lot going on, a lot going on, y'all. A lot going behind the scenes, everything. And so I'm excited though, because the pageant is at the top of the list as my priority. And after that, then I can, concentrate on the other stuff, the move, the house, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm trying to tackle one project at a time. I'm not trying to stress about it. So that's my goal, one project at a time. But also and trying to fit in some time to relax, because anxiety and stress is a silent killer, and we don't want that to overtake us in our moments of trying to be well and do well. And so take that time to refocus, refresh as much as you need to, because that's important. Sometimes we're running on empty and running on E, and then not realizing why we're not being productive, because you're not producing what you normally produce when you're at the top of your game, high energy level and all that kind of stuff. And it makes a difference. So when you rested and y'all, let me tell you, the sleep I got on this ship, I don't know if the ship was like Rockabye Baby or whatever, but it didn't make me nauseous or sick or anything, but I slept like a baby. I mean, I was going to bed like early too. My daughter's like, "You going to the comedy show? What time is the comedy show? 11 o'clock. Nope, won't be there." I was going to bed early, getting like full 8 hours sleep and rest. I'm telling you, after I clear up with my sunburn and all this kind of stuff, and being so bronze, y'all gonna be able to see how rested I am. Y'all be like, "Girl, you look something different about you," because I'm rested. I'm not stressed. None of that stuff is happening. And that's important. So, you guys do that. Reset, as much as you need to get yourself back to the best version of yourself, because that's important. And you owe that to yourself. You owe that to yourself. It's not selfish, putting yourself first and owing that to yourself. So never think that. You owe that to yourself. So it's time out for us running on raggedy running empty and all this kind of stuff. No, we want to be at the top of our game every single time. Every time I step, I'm stepping 110% every single time. You're not going to get nothing less from me. That's just not me. And so if I got to reset and refocus and refresh and replenish or do whatever I need to do as much as I need to do it, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because you're going to get 110% of me. You're going to get the very best from me. You're not going to get anything less than that. I refuse. Can't do it. I'm just not. I've never been a mediocre person. You know me my whole entire life, from childhood, whatever. I've never been mediocre. You're not going to get mediocre from me. You're not going to get average from me. Just never been in my game. And I've always pushed my kids that way as well. I don't want average, because everybody's doing average. Everybody's doing mediocre. You got to do above and beyond that. That's how people succeed. That's how success comes. Because if we're doing it just like everybody else doing, we give it all the effort like everybody else is giving, then we're just average. We're just doing what everybody else is doing. No, you need to be above and beyond what the average person is doing, and then some. And then add some onto that. That's how I think of it. And so if you ever see and wonder, like, okay, I see why her kids are doing well or successful, or whatever, I pushed them. They've always been pushed like that since they were little. So it ain't just started. Trust me, it ain't just started. I planted that seed in them young. Everybody's doing mediocre. Everybody's doing average. You got to beat that. You have to beat that. Hard work beats talent every single day. I used to tell that to my son. You want to be the best on the football field? Hard work beats talent every day. So I don't care how talented so-and-so kid is, how many stars he got or whatever. Hard work beats talent every day. And he's proven that. He's proven that every year that he was in school. He's proven that every time that he was on the football field. He proven that when he just graduated from an Ivy League college. Hard work beats talent every single day. I don't care what nobody says. So you put in that work and not doing the average or what everybody else is doing, you're going to get the results. You're going to get the results. You're going to see the results that you want to see. We're not doing average. So you're never going to get average from me. And if I've ever talked to you, encouraged you, or mentored you, you're not going to get average from that either, because I'm going to push you to do more. I'm going to push you to see more. The Bible says greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. He tells it. My father has he got mansions. He got cattle on 1,000 hills. Why do I need to be worried about mediocre and lack? I don't need to worry about that, because he's a provider. So I'm going to give 110% every time. What I'm lacking in giving, God gives the rest, because he knows my heart. He knows where it's coming from. And so that's me on everything. That's me in work, where it comes to my career, it comes to my job, it comes to my business, where it comes to me being a mother, where it comes to me in relationships. I'm always that. You're not getting anything less than that. I'm not average or mediocre when it comes to relationship. I'm not average or mediocre when it comes to parenting. No. You gonna get them kids gonna get the best mom. They might be saying I'm doing the most, but they gonna get the best mom. I hear that all the time. Mom, you doing the most. Okay, well, it worked. It has worked. Me doing the most has worked, or whatever. So, and people ask me all the time, like, do you plan to remarry? Absolutely, I plan to remarry. I've been divorced since 2010. So who wouldn't want to remarry, right? Yeah, I want to remarry, but I'm not settling for being remarried, or for the sake of saying I have a husband and that husband ain't no good, or our relationship ain't solid. No, I'm not doing that. I could have been married 10 times by now if I was going to do that. No, I'm looking for, if I am operating at the level that I'm operating, that person got to exceed that for me to be able to settle for that. For me to say, yeah, that's where I'm at, because I'm not settling for anything less than that. That's why I encourage, and when I mentor people, don't shop on a clearance rack. Look, I know I'm a girl. I love a good clearance rack when I'm going to, the stores and shop. I love a good clearance rack. But when it comes to us, when we're trying to do things outside of the physical, when it comes to things, when it comes to our career, when it comes to our future, when it comes to our finances, when it comes to our children, you got to think outside the box. You got to get off that clearance rack mentality, and you gonna have to go above and beyond that. We got to stop settling for what we feel like. Oh, that's all that's available. No, it's not. There's more available to you. You got to tap in. You have to be able to tap in to the things that are available to you. And you won't know that if you're shopping on the clearance rack all the time. And trust me, I'm a girl that loves a good clearance sale, a good bargain, all that good stuff. I'm not saying people who shop on clearance rack, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is there's opportunities for us outside the clearance rack when we're looking at career, when we're looking at our children, when we're looking at schools and jobs and parenting and how we're providing and how we're supporting and how we're doing things. We got to look above that clearance rack mentality and say, I want this, because we're creating legacies. That's how you establish legacies. You can't establish legacy at the clearance rack level. You can't establish legacy just doing the normal just to get by. You can't establish legacy that way. You cannot. You cannot. And and my mom, who raised five girls, and I have no idea how she did it as a seamstress, making very little as a seamstress, but she raised five girls and we lacked nothing. When I tell you we lacked nothing, we lacked nothing. And every time you seen us, we looked our best, nothing less. And because I saw my mother do that, because she could have basically said, hey, I'm barely making anything. Let me go get on food stamps. Let me go get government assistance. Never did it. Never did it. But she made sure that we had what we needed, all our necessities, and then the things we wanted as well. So because I saw that, it motivated me as a mom. If I could have an ounce of what my mother had as a mother and how she did things raising me and my sisters, then I know that I can be somewhat of a great mother. So that was my foundation. That was my inspiration. And that's why you guys hear me say that all the time. I am my mother's legacy. Everything I have done career-wise, business-wise, everything is to be that legacy for my mother, because I knew where she fell short at or whatever. If she had the opportunities that I had, she would have soared, but she didn't. And because she didn't or whatever, I'm doing it for her. I'm doing it for her. And those who come behind me, like my children, they're going to do it too, because that's how legacy is created. And that's why you got Legacy Consulting Group, because that's a legacy. That's what I am establishing for my children's children. So, that's what the Bible says. You're supposed to leave an inheritance. A good father leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So that's what we have to establish. We have to establish, and we can't establish that thinking small, being boxed in or whatever. We got to think big. We got to think outside the norm. We got to think outside the box. We got to push ourselves a little bit farther and a little bit higher. I don't care what your situation and your circumstance, and we didn't have much. My mom had a junior high education. When she went to high school, she had to drop out of high school to help raise her family. And then she got married and established her family. So that's how it was back in the day. You're going to help with your family kind of thing. You're going to work, support, and help take care of your family. And then she established her family. So, everything that I do is to support her. Every degree that I've had, it was in honor of my mother. Everything that I've excelled in when it came to work, or whether it was school or whatever the case may be, I'm doing it for my mother. I'm doing it for my mother. And I guarantee you, she would be a front row seat in Chicago at this pageant, because she loved when I competed for pageants. So I'm going to be excited to represent for her there as well. So, because she set the foundation. So you got to have that. You got to have something that motivates you and pushes you every day. That's what Chit Chat Podcast is. We are that platform to inspire, to encourage, to motivate, to support the everyday woman. If you're an everyday woman, if you're a single mom, you're an everyday woman. If you're a married woman, still doing a whole lot, soccer mom, picking up kids, doing all this kind of stuff or whatever, stay at home mom, you're an everyday woman. If you're an auntie, sister, godmother, or whatever, don't have your own kids, but you're, being kids and supporting other kids and being there for them as a mother, you're an everyday woman. You're not excluded. If you're a sister, auntie, or whatever, supporting a village of nieces and nephews, you're an everyday woman. That's what this platform is about. That's why we encourage you to share, like, share, subscribe, share an episode that might, help somebody else, because what may not be your situation today could be your situation tomorrow. What I've gone through, what I've experienced, whatever, and I share may not be your situation. True enough. However, it doesn't mean it's not going to help the next person. You sharing it or whatever, somebody like, hey, I just went through something similar. I just went through something, or whatever the case may be. People relate off of experiences and situations. And once that connection happens, gosh, you never know how when God plants those seeds and water it, you don't know what it blossoms into. It just so happened to blossom into a platform called Chit Chat Podcast. And that's going to be my platform for this year's Petite USA pageant, as I represent Elite Miss Mid-Atlantic 2026 and the region of New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, DC, Virginia, and West Virginia. I am proudly representing that region because I know what I offer, and I'm going to bring that big energy. So, look, if you guys, I'm going to recap. I know we said a lot today, but Wednesday is the last day for Father's Day nominations. I need you guys nominating those dads. Look, we want to be able to bless a dad with a big Father's Day basket. So place those nominations for Father's Day no later than Wednesday. Wednesday is the deadline. Father's Day is coming up, and we want to make sure we get, a appropriate basket and get it sent to our fathers, the father that gets selected for that. But nominate these fathers. Some of these dads are phenomenal dads, are father figures, whether they're a mentor or coach or whoever they are. But if you know that they've had impact on a child or your child or whatever, nominate these dads, nominate these men. So that's important. We want to be able to give these men their flowers too. They're highly important. They lead our families, they lead our homes, they lead our communities, and some are our different places and things that we often visit, like businesses or whatever. And we want to support them. We want to support them in doing that. And then this Friday is the deadline for our men's panel volunteers. We're looking for men to join Mr. Juan Lee, our podcast collab, who joins us once a month. He's going to be doing a panel talking about important discussion, men's mental health. And because June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, we want to make sure that we give an opportunity for you guys to talk about real important stuff. He's a relationship coach, so he's there to support and help. It may not be stuff on relationship; it could be stuff on being a father, or things, being a career man, whatever the case may be. But join us for that important conversation and volunteer for that men's panel. We're looking to at least have 5 men join him on that panel. So please volunteer for that. The late deadline for that is this Friday. So if you're interested in doing that, or you know a guy who would be great on a panel, speaking on the importance of that, please, give him the information, pass the information on to him, and have him sign up to us by Friday. Again, that is this Friday for the deadline. So again, you have the link for the People Choice Awards for the Petite USA pageant. Click on that link, cast your vote for your Elite Miss Mid-Atlantic 2026. Look, the top voters for our People Choice in each division make it to the finals automatically. And so if you're, willing to cast your vote for Elite Miss Mid-Atlantic, look, we're hoping to be there at the finals based off of your votes and your generosity in voting. So thank you in advance for that. I think that's all I have. We do have Juneteenth this week, so go out there. If you are not educated on Juneteenth, if there's some Juneteenth events in your area, go out there and support Juneteenth and find out, get information, enjoy some of the creativity, the ceremonies, and all the things that happen in the creativity of Juneteenth events around the different areas. You'll be pleasantly surprised at some of the things that people put the efforts into in celebrating that independence from the Emancipation Proclamation. So I definitely want to encourage you to do that. But trying to make sure I hit everything. And look, if you're going on vacation, be safe. We want you guys back with us on Sundays, enjoying Sundays with us. So if you go on vacation, enjoy your vacation, but be safe as well. Pay attention to your surroundings. A lot of places, right now, America is not favorable, in a lot of countries right now, but be that good representation of a tourist or American when you go in other countries or whatever. So that way we're not looked upon, in a bad way based off our current circumstances. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But and again, 27 days from the pageant. So yeah. Ready. I'm so ready. And those who donated again to our calendar campaign for donations toward my road to nationals, you will get a autographed photocopy of the Elite Miss Mid-Atlantic as a gift from me to you. This gift, I did this photo shoot just recently in New York. So once those pictures get all processed and approved, then you're going to get your autographed photocopy from me for a thank you for being supportive, sowing seed into good ground. And we're going to let God, look, y'all sowed the seed, let God water and get the increase and let him do the rest. So we're going to pray that and sign off with that. So I appreciate you guys checking in with us this week. Thank you for being patient since we wasn't on last week. Look, my dog, I had to take him to the vet last minute and it was right before vacation. So it was one of those moments I was like, oh my God, I got to cancel the podcast. Y'all know I hate doing that. But he's fine. My granddog, he's fine. They just spoil. They get so spoiled. But we're back. And so because we're back, we're ready and refreshed. Jada don't party her birthday off. So she back to work. I got to make her do some work now. So, she want to, appreciate you guys sending celebratory birthday wishes towards her. And trust me, she lived her birthday up. She enjoyed her birthday. If anybody enjoyed their birthday, she did. So, y'all, it's so funny. I have to tell this little joke before we go. It's so funny because she posted pictures from our trip. And people were asking if she got a BBL. This is a women's podcast, so we talk about this. So it was so funny that people been asking her, did she get a BBL? Did she get some work done? No, that's my baby's hard work of her when she had the weight loss surgery a year ago. She's been working out, being a weight fitness trainer and working out herself, doing things. So she created them glutes herself with them squats and the work that she's put in. And she's looking so great. I was like, she has done so well. I'm so proud of her. So if you've seen the pictures fluctuate on social media, no, my baby did not have no BBL. But that's just hard work. Look, like I said before, hard work beat talent every day. So look, she didn't go to nobody but get no work done. That's my baby hard work. And so I'm super proud of her and her weight loss journey and how she's been journaling that and showcasing that and showing you guys how you can do it naturally, building, your body and creating the body that you want based off her workouts or whatever. And so, yeah, she gonna have her mama right in 27 days for this pageant. So, she's been working hard with me. So she looks fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Jesse. She does. I'm so proud of my baby. I've seen all the little outfits and changes during this whole little trip she's been on. And every outfit she wore, she looked phenomenal in it. You can see her work, you can see her progress, all of that good stuff. And she looks just great. So super proud of her and the work that she's doing and how she's inspiring others, because that's what we're here to do. Here to help. Some things we go through and deal with, not just for us, is to help somebody else. And when we can do that, that's even more of a blessing. So with that being said, I'm gonna bid farewell for you this week. Have a blessed week. Enjoy Juneteenth. Father's Day coming up, so don't forget the Father's Day nominations is due by Wednesday. And then our men panel. Mr. Jesse, we need you on the men's panel. The men's panel volunteers are due by Friday. And so we'll be talking about the importance of men mental health and how we need to prioritize that, because these men are leading our families in our households and all these things. So it's important for us to make sure they are well. Health is wealth. And so we need to make sure we prioritize that, whether it's spiritually, mentally, physically, whatever the case, or financially. We need to make sure we're doing our part. So you guys have a great week. We're back on regular scheduled podcast. So, join in with us, come back, chat with us. We're open for that. But we do have those opportunities coming up for our men, and we want to make sure they get an opportunity to volunteer and do so. But have a great week, guys, and we will see you on the next episode. Have a good one. Bye.